Hello everybody, welcome back to X-Plane 11. We are here in the LevelUp 737-600 and finally doing the flight that I said I would do so long ago. It's been a while. I said I'd do this flight back when I reviewed, not really reviewed, but just flew the 737. I think it was the 700 or the 900, one of the two. But yeah, this is the 737-600. We are operating a Delta Airlines flight. It's a Delta connection, I believe, from SkyWest. I'm not fully sure, but I believe that's what it was with SkyWest. It's a Delta connection flight flown by an Embraer 175. I do not have an Embraer 175. I could have done this in the CRJ, but you know, the 737-600, it seems small enough to be a regional jet, so why not? So we are currently at a stand, don't ask me which one, in Salt Lake City, Nevada? Or Nevada? Hey Google, what city? It's a city in Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah. And we are going to be flying down to Albuquerque, New Mexico. I have noticed recently that we've done a lot of nighttime flights. In fact, if I real quickly just take a look at the channel, we have done our two most recent flights were nighttime flights, the 727 and the A300. This is somewhat, you might be thinking, oh, it's going to be a night flight. It's not. I currently have the time set to early morning. I think like 5 or 6 a.m. Currently, it is 1:15 a.m. where I live. And, yeah, that's kind of late. But, we should be taking off into the sunrise. Now, this is currently custom scenery. It's freeware scenery, but still custom of Salt Lake City. I can't remember if I have any custom scenery for Albuquerque. I do not think I do. This is going to be an interesting flight because this is going to be my first flight, with, on camera using Navigraph. I bought Navigraph. I bought their monthly subscription. It was only like $9 a month. So I figured, yeah, why not? So I got their charts, I got their nav data, which was my main thing, but glad I got the nav data. I'm glad I got the charts too. So there we go. So we're no longer going to be using ChartBox, we're going to be using Navigraph, which is they source their charts from Jepsen, which is what airlines use. So let's go ahead and get into the cockpit here. I also need to get my checklist because I still have not learned the default checklist. Also, real quick, just making sure everything's hooked up correctly. All right. Get over there. Let me find the 737 checklists. That's the 747-800. That's the 742. There we go. 737 NG series. Ooh, that's a lot of pages. That's about to be crossing over that. Well, there we go. My binder that I have all my checklists in, one of the clips has a little nub on it. I don't know why it does, but it do. And I have ripped a lot of papers from that. If I turn it real quickly, it'll get caught on that and just... Alright. So currently, I believe we have the chocks in place, so that parking brake should be released. Yeah, chocks are in place. We got the cargo doors open, and we got the jetway open. Turns out I have the air stairs down. Also, I said I had the jetway open. I meant I have the door open, and the jetway is connected. Now, I downloaded that one mod. I can't remember what it's called. It's like, oh god, what is it called? AutoGate. I think that's it. I don't know how I use it like at all. Also got SAM, which is this. Yeah, I don't really know what this does. Oh, hey. Oh. Like this is I have no idea what this is. door animation, like jetway external power, jetway status, show on screen, always hidden. I don't know what this is. Seasons. Now what? Can I make it snow? Sam seasons not detected. Maybe don't do that. Snowy trees. Don't reload the scenery, please. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this mod is. World jetways? What are you? Activate? Oh. Yeah, how about I don't do that then? I'm glad it didn't show my email. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I don't know if I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna like bring it up later. I don't know what that is. But anyways, yeah, I got AutoGate installed, and being honest, I don't know how I use AutoGate at all. I think if I turn on the beacon light, I think like currently the jetway, this scenery does have AutoGate functionality, I believe. So I think right now, of course, the AutoGate, the jetway does look like it's here. If you look at other gates, you know, they don't look like this. And I think it's meant to move away when I turn on the beacon light, but I have no idea. Anyways, let's do this. It's been a while since I've actually flown the 737, so parking brake is set. Battery. Guard closed. Standby power. Guard is closed. Let's connect to the ground power. Left aft fuel pump on. APU. Start. Position lights to steady. Logo lights on. Cabin lights are set. Emergency exit lights are armed. Passenger signs, we're going to put those on. The packs, get them to auto. IRS to nav. And while it does that, I'm going to real quickly just set our thing, KSLC. See? There we go. I don't know what gate we're at, but I think I can use Navigraph to figure that out. We go here, KSLC. Port, parking gates. And it should tell me my location. It did not tell me my location. But it might just be that. So if I went here, I believe it would tell me. So I am here. Okay, you know what? How about just never mind. We don't just there we go. 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 That's good. That's good. That's good. APU is available. Tie it in. APU bleed open. Just acknowledge the master caution there. Let's get some background lighting. Not what I had in mind, but it's okay. So set it here too. I'm gonna keep you on. Got that open. We'll close that so we can quiet the cockpit a little. And let's get the overhead and circuit breakers. Good. Actually, are you a floodlight? I don't really know. We'll keep you off. Hello? You? Alright, so... You know what? I'll go ahead and just set the FMC. Or the FMS. So, let's go here. I need to turn up my volume. I don't know what the audio is like, so I apologize. So we are Delta 3762. I know this says FedEx. I didn't change the call sign, but I did change the number. So, but this is our flight plan. So of course from KSLC to Albuquerque, which is KABQ, Kilo Alpha Bravo Quebec, as Delta 3762. 3762. This isn't that long of a flight, thank God, because like I said, it's like 1:24 now in the morning. It's Saturday. I am tired. I am hungry. So hungry that I almost threw up before recording this, and I ate 2 Lunchables. That was it. So I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I'm dying. But we're gonna do this here. I just wanted to do a real quick flight in the 737 because I flew the CRJ today. It's been a while since I did that. And I flew the A320. Been a while since I did that. And I figured, well, since it's been a while since I've flown the 737, why not? And now we're here. So now we're gonna go to the departure page. Taking off runway 17 on the Rugged 2 SID to Mike Tango uniform. Since I have Navigraph, I have the updated AIRAC cycle for both SimBrief and the plane. So I'm currently on AIRAC 2202, I believe, is the most up-to-date one. I believe it switches over to 2203 in 4 days, actually, on March 24th. So be prepared for that, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and execute that. Next page. Direct to Juliet November Charlie. Direct to Rosé. Execute. Then arrival. Runway 8. What are the weather conditions? Let me get some weather. Thank you. Visibility 10 miles. Fuel clouds of 20,000. Scattered 26. Okay. We'll do the RNAV Yankee for runway 8. Because I've been doing a lot of RNAVs recently. I did a thing in the A300. What is that on my wall? Is that a spider having a seizure, or is that a speck of dust? That's dust. Alright, I did a thing in the A300. I've done a lot of flights in the A300 actually, and I did RNAVs for a few. I attempted an RNAV on one, it didn't work correctly, so I did another RNAV and it worked fine. I tried to do an RNAV in the CRJ, but it didn't work, and I didn't know if that was something on my fault because I've never done an RNAV in the CRJ. I looked it up. Apparently, the RNAV in the CRJ 700 by Aerosoft doesn't work with vertical guidance. The CRJ pilot actually said that that's been an experience that he's had in a lot of CRJ flights, just in general, in real life, that the RNAV doesn't fully work. Occasionally. And then I was planning to do an RNAV in the A320neo, but the conditions in San Francisco, I did from LAX to SFO, the conditions really didn't approve for that, so I just shot an ILS. So when we choose our transition here, what we're gonna do is we're going to load up Albuquerque. We're gonna take the charts here. We're gonna bring in our approach, which is RNAV 8, RNAV Yankee runway 8. And we're going to bring in our star, or the arrival. We are on the Lobo 3 RNAV arrival. Is there any continued? Nope. So we're going to take a look at it. So we're coming in from Rosé, from the north, coming in at Lobo, and then coming down here to Itun. From there it branches off, kind of. But, I mean, this is kind of different than what I'm used to. I haven't seen a star where it joins up, comes down, and then splits off while still on the star. But we're going to come here. We're going to take a look at this. So for this, there are multiple approaches, multiple ways we can come in. We can come in from Lorat, which will bring us in from the northwest, or Acoma, which will bring us in from the southwest. Or we can just join up straight up right here on Alpha Bravo Quebec. Considering our our star, we're coming in from the northwest. So we want to come in from the northwest. So we're going to hit and come in from Lorat. We could choose really any of these, but Lorat makes the most sense. Route and execute. We're going to head to the legs page. I'm going to close out of those charts now. And I'm also going to set the landing elevation real quick while I have it. 5,354 feet. Wow, my finger just like died. 5,350. There we go. I'll also set the altimeters real quick here in Salt Lake. So, oh wow, conditions are horrible. Winds are 200 at 23, gusting 30. Visibility is 10, scattered at 10,000, broken at 12,000, overcast 16,000, temperature 14, dew point -4, altimeter 2983. That's set. Set the standby altimeter. I don't have you guys synced. I'm gonna sync you in a sec. Alright. Goodbye, Abitab. So, gonna get a vector. Any discons? Any discont? Nope. So we are gonna keep this vector in. And then from there, oh man, it's been so long since I've done you. We're gonna come here to the performance page. Do kind of need you though. So our cruising altitude is gonna be flight level 390. Missed an L, apparently. There we go. Cruise winds are 254 at 051. Alright, our cost index is 27. Reserves 2207 or 2.2 tons. Our zero fuel weight is going to be 113.5. And our block fuel is going to be 13.2. There we go. So you might be wondering why I actually listen to SimBrief, because I've got my SimBrief set up. I've changed around the default fuel profiles. So, and I've used this many times in different aircraft, and so far every single time it's worked flawlessly, and I've never had any issue with fuel consumption. So I'm going off the pretense that I don't have to worry about my fuel. Shoot, hold on, I just need to move you over. Alright, I'm just gonna load up SimBrief on my desktop real quick so I can get my numbers. Even though I think you can actually load them through the plane itself, but I'm not entirely sure. So 13.2. Go a little bit over. Actually, I can just do this. 13.231. 13.231. You're wrong. It's meant to be a 3-1. 13.231. Okay, 13.23. Are you satisfied? No. Right. 13. It's as good as I'm ever gonna get it. And then our payload is 31.4. Which I should be able to do. 31.4? Thank you. Light changes. There we go. You can't, hold up. Just so I know I'm not insane, you can, like, payload. Yeah, but you have to set it through this. Or I could do this. 31. So, do I need to do U? Or, would that work? Okay, that would work. Oh, okay. Block fuel, what was that again? 13231. 13231. Thank you. So you can. And our takeoff weight for a CG is 22.9. Oh, that's cruise CG. There, okay. Either way, that's set up. Takeoff performance. We can do this? I mean, I'm not going to do it on here because, you know, got a box to do that. Could call the fuel truck and get us down, but I mean, I'm okay with our fuel currently. Okay. So the performance page is set. Got the N1 limit takeoff. So we're taking off runway 17, was it? Yeah, 17 airport. So I'm actually gonna look at you. This departure. No, wait. So I should be able to see. It might be on references. I'm not too sure. Just so I can get the runway length. Yeah, runway 17. Because, like I said, this is custom scenery, so I'm not gonna rely on what it said there. Caution, birds in vicinity of airport. Warning, rapidly rising terrain in southwest and eastern quadrants. Primarily class Bravo airport. Okay. So what's our runway length? Okay. Doesn't tell me. Can I see? I just want to know the runway length. That's all I want to know. Also, it's 6:23 here. It's not going to tell me. Anyways, we are going to get our thing up. I'll just use you as a base reference. Okay. So with that, we'll do a flaps 5 takeoff because we are super light. V1 121, VR 122, V2 130, CG's 22.9, making our takeoff trim 5.5. Back to the index, which I think that's good. Gonna come here and take a look at our VNAV profile. So we're gonna be cruising at flight level 390. Our target speed is 288 .749. Speed restrictions 250 under 10. Cruising at about 0.76 at 390. There's that. So we are going to be using VNAV. I am going to be using VNAV, LNAV, and VNAV. VNAV is essentially takes the stress off of me when following a sit and star. And I believe I actually recorded a video with the video that we did on this, on the last LevelUp 737 video we did. We used VNAV and it worked fine. Also, man, I don't know if you don't know this, but I love a sunrise and sunset. It's just beautiful. Uh, let's set our transponder. I have a number generator up. 4126 is going to be our thing. 4126. Transponder is set. Right. Do we got any speed restrictions for this? Let's also just let's just take a look. Climb right, turn on a heading between 280 clockwise to 234, sorry, as assigned by ATC, then on radar vectors to cross Bubby at or above 11,000, then track 054 to rugged, then on transition, maintain flight level 230, lower, filed altitude, maintain flight level 230 or lower, filed altitude. Oh, okay. Expect filed altitude 10 minutes after departure. So no speed restrictions other than the 250 under 10. That's what it seems like. So we're just gonna set 250 knots here. Go initial alt, so at or above 11,000. So I'm gonna go ahead and set in 230. I'll clear myself to my filed altitude a little bit. So heading. So right, climb on a right turn between heading 280 clockwise 340. I'll set 280 on the bug. That fits it, right? Yeah. Okay, we're also gonna real quickly just take a look at the flight plan, making sure that it makes sense. This isn't how I expected it. I thought it would be more of kind of like a here to Lorat, then here to Magma, and then here, but instead it's kind of coming us down here, bringing us here, then lapping us back around and spitting us out there. But other than that, you know, it looks fine, and I'm sure it is fine. I also need to just real quickly see something. Set both feet at 10 miles. If I hit the progress page, can I figure out how far away I am from? Nope. Gonna be interesting. Sure, it'll be fine though. I'm gonna keep you on progress. I'll keep you on the legs. God, I'm dying. Yaw dampers on. Window heat on. Cruise out. Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't set you. 390. Landing altitude set. Flight directors. Wrong thing. Put it up. Flight directors are on. LNAV. And, I mean, I guess I can go ahead and engage VNAV. At least arm VNAV. Minimums. I'm not going to set you yet. But I will set, the alternatives are set. Actually, auto brake, rejected takeoff. Comm radios are set. We can go ahead and close the doors because, you know, all of our passengers, they're on board now. Oh yeah. Parking brake is set. Chocks removed. GPU removed. And let's close the doors. So this... I honestly didn't know that. I didn't know I had anything related to flight controls tied to my keyboard. Now I'm scared. Tried to do this. There we go. So this is meant to be a Delta flight, of course. And I looked on the forums and I could not find a 737-600 Delta livery. It's like no American carrier has this plane apparently, or nobody cared for it. So I'm just going with the house library from LevelUp. Alright, so before start, checklist. Auto throttle armed. Let's get the other wing fuel pumps on. We're not having any fuel in the center tank, therefore that's going to stay off. The electric hydraulic pumps can go on. Anti-collision lights on. Let's see, does that automatically move the jetway? No. Yeah, I don't know how I use you at all. Pre-plan the pushback real quick. No. Okay. I was just curious to see if that would work. I don't think you are runway 17. Nope, you are 34 left. Huge parking lot. Oh my god. You could fit like 15 747s there. Jesus. Huge parking lot. Don't tell me any of you are runway 17. I will cry. Runway 14. 16 left, and then 16 right was somewhere. Yeah. Got some FedEx jets. Jesus, I'm just trying to find where the runway is so I can know where to align myself to taxi. Where's the runway? Oh, there. Oh, are you joking? Alright, well, it's to the left of me. Gonna be a long taxi, fellas.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me to the
Menu when you are ready. Thank you, Susie. Alright. That's all good. Yeah, let's go ahead and call it.
Ground to cockpit, tow is shutting up.
Wish I could say screw you to this thing, but I really don't know how to do it. Is that cockpit? Yep.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Let's just take a look. Bleeds are all on. Let's get the packs off. Isolation valve is open. See them lifting us up.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Parking brake released. Oh, hey, it's going.
And we make our engines.
Alright, we'll start in sequence 2, 1. Starting engine 2. Engine 2 is rising. Starter valve open. So it's when the parking brake is set is when that goes. Got it. 20% in 2. Fuel on. manufactures your engines? Is it Rolls-Royce or General Electric? I honestly don't know. Alright, starting engine 1. Into increasing. %in 2. Fuel on.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tail. Stand by.
Starter valve off. And engines are stabilized. Let's get those generators connected. Probe heat on. Anti-ice not required. Packs. Auto. Isolation valve auto. APU bleed closed. And APU itself off. Engine start to continuous. Flaps to 5. That should be 5. Pitch trim, I believe it was 5.5 for the takeoff. Yeah, 5.5 for the takeoff.
Tail is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Pitch trim is set. Flaps are 5 degrees green. Flight controls. This comes just to make sure. Left. Rudder right. Neutral. Good. Recall. Checked. Lower display unit off. Taxi light on. Runway turn up lights on. Okay. We're gonna load up AviTab. And we're gonna take a look at not you. But you. We're gonna open up. Make sure to check. You were good. 293. Those are good. Airport info. So we want to taxi. To wherever the heck runway 7 is. 17 is. Sorry. Runway 17 doesn't exist. 34 left, 34 right, 32, 35. 14, oh, 17. Oh, okay. So we're gonna be taking a left here onto Echo, and then onto Hotel, and then holding short of the runway. Okay, sorry, we're gonna go onto Echo. Or actually, wait, I could just taxi straight. Yeah, I'm gonna taxi straight, take a left onto Hotel, cross 16 left on Hotel 10 onto Sierra, and then hold short of runway 17. Yeah, that sounds good. Parking brake released. So, I've been flying based off of SIDS and stars quite a bit now. Initially I wasn't going to do it for Microsoft Flight Sim because I didn't have charts accessible in Microsoft Flight Sim, but now that I have Navigraph, I can. Speaking of, the reason why I got Navigraph initially, so for well over a year now, I've been plagued with the fact that, using the default AirAC from SimBrief, and that was a 2006. So that was from that's like the midpoint of 2020. That's the AirAC cycle. And all of my sims use far more up-to-date AirAC cycles, meaning there were a lot of discrepancies. And you know, that got annoying. That got very annoying whenever I'd try and input a waypoint and be like all of a sudden, oh hey, yeah, this doesn't exist. Now if it's like a SID or a star and it's just off by, like if it's like Surfer 4 instead of Surfer 3, it wasn't, you know, that horrible. But when you have like 30 waypoints just gone, not available, that gets very annoying. When you got like all of your airways you have to put in manually because they don't exist, super annoying. And I finally just had to limit it enough, and I was like, how much is Navigraph? I looked it up, $9 a month. All right, and yeah, now I'm subscribed to Navigraph. And with that, of course, I got access. I was mainly for the nav data, but their charts were definitely a plus to that because it's the ultimate monthly. And I got the charts now, so that was great. I was using ChartFox for X-Plane, but there have been multiple airports that just don't have charts apparently, and ChartFox isn't available for Microsoft Flight Sim. So, but now with Navigraph, I can use the toolbar thing for it. So I got Navigraph in the toolbar, and the fly-by-wire A320neo has its own little thing for the Navigraph charts. It's got its own little tab on the fly tab. Speaking of the fly tab on the developmental build, not the developmental, the development build, the fly tab is now on both sides. So it used to just be on the captain's side, but now it's on both the first officer side too. So they also said that they added in like little sticky notes that you can put in, and I still don't know how to use them. You know, I haven't seen anybody talk about them. They may not be even implemented yet, but I mean, I don't know why they would tease it and then not implement it like that, considering it's such a minor thing. Usually if you're gonna tease something so minor, just be put in, and that's kind of just like its info bit, like, hey, yo, it's here now. Speaking of stuff that isn't here, and oh my god, I feel like there's something wrong here. I don't think I should have to, like, do I have a brake engaged? No. I feel like I just have too much drag on the ground. Like, look at this. I'm still slowing down. I shouldn't have to ride in over 45% in one to maintain speed on the ground. Is there a brake in? Do I have a brake engaged? No. What's the problem? Oh, frick. Gonna... speaking of stuff that isn't out yet, Rotate since MD11 is still not out. They haven't even released any info on it. So maybe it won't be here by the end of March, because, it's March 20th right now, and March ends, I believe, on the 30th. So they got about 10 days. They got a little under a week, a little under 2 weeks to give us info or release it. But nothing yet. Kind of disappointed. I really thought we were going to get something this month. It has been, let's see, it's been about 5 months since they said it was in beta. 5 months. And after their teaser video over 2 months ago now, it felt about right for them to release info. Not necessarily release the plane, but info about the plane would have been nice. I'm not trying to rush them, but like, it'd be pretty cool if we got it. Or got info on it soon. Also, I saw a video earlier about this dude who was plane spotting. Apparently there was a FedEx MD-11 had an emergency landing or something at Tampa. It was a video released like earlier. It was released earlier today. It was like, I don't know, 10 hours by the time I watched it, so it's probably closer to like, I don't know, maybe 16 hours now since it was posted. But you know, I looked it up. I couldn't find anything. So if y'all got any info about, you know, FedEx MD-11 having an emergency landing at Tampa, you know, let me know. Cause I would like to know. It's been a while since I've heard of any issues. It's been a while since I've heard of any emergency landings with an MD-11. I haven't seen much on Bass Aviation. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and stop here, set the parking brake. For takeoff checklist, parking brake is set, center fuel pumps not required. I am going to real quickly look at our minimum takeoff fuel just to see. It's 12.7. Man, I don't really want to do math. But I'll do math. Give me my calculator. 6540 plus 6610, that is 13.1. Compare it, it's fine. De-icing not required. Cabin lights, we'll set them. Takeoff and landing, we'll set you to medium. Instruments are good. Takeoff data. So V1121, V2122, V2130. V2 plus 10 is 140. Nav equipment is good. Landing lights on. Strobe lights. Come on. Strobe lights are on. Taxi lights off. Transponder. TARA. Someone just opened the door upstairs. It's 2 in the morning. Who in the heck is awake right now? Traffic. And I'm also going to get the terrain radar on with me. Actually, no. We'll get the weather radar on, though, even though it's not really needed. And we'll go ahead and start up the clock. Here we go. Parking brake released. So again, we're going to be climbing on a right turn to heading 280. And then radar vectors to cross Bubby at or above 11,000. Then track 054 to rugged. Then on transition, maintain flight level 230 or lower. And then expect filed altitude 10 minutes after departure. That's what we got. So we are going to be coming off down here. So, alright. LNAV and VNAV is on. We're good. Okay. Let's just... I didn't check the wind. 22023 gusting 30, visibility 10, altimeter 2980. Okay, we're good. Put her at idle. Shouldn't have done that because now our speed is just dropping. I don't like. I'm not a 737 pilot, and I've never personally talked to a 737 pilot, but I don't think it's right having to put in so much power to maintain speed while taxiing. Like, it don't make sense in my mind. I don't know a single other plane that does this. Anyways. Setting takeoff power. Takeoff power set. Airspeed's alive. That rudder left.
80 knots.
80 knots. Cross check. Turn this side.
Positive right. Gear up.
So,
Cool. $1,000.
okay. You're in control now, VNAV. Okay. I'm gonna just go ahead and get that autopilot on. It's 2. I get the gear lever off. And we turn off lights off. Auto brake is off. Engine starts off. Flaps 1. Let's bring flaps up. Man, those winds are just not fun at all. Turn right. Already about to pass 10,000? Really? Alright, passing 10,000. Landing lights. Off. Seatbelt signs. Auto. Now I'm gonna turn right. 0. 0 to 5. TS on. And like that, hit LNAV and start turning to the right. In fact, it honestly should have turned to the left, if anything. Scary. if I'm gonna be completely honest here, I don't really know how to go direct. I'd just be like, hey, go direct here. Don't know how to do it. And that's probably not good, but I just don't do it. Now here's the test. Are you gonna follow the... While I figure out how do I go direct to a waypoint... Oh, sweet Jesus. What did I do? Nope. Don't stop. What have I done? I don't know what I've done. Yeah, do that. That's a lot better. Alright. We're cleared to 390. I'm... Alright. It's just... Alright, that is the scariest thing that I've ever had in my life. Let's, go quickly, listen maybe? Hardware? No, why would it be there? Explain variant systems. We any review, so is it? Oh. General config? Ah. Um. Goes. I'm gonna set the cabin lighting real quick. I'm gonna say cruise. Gonna take a picture. Brace your ears. There we go. So I don't know what happened there when I tried. I don't know. It's fine now. It's fine. It's literally fine. It's fine. Never been more fine. Terrified. Speaking of being look that up. Speaking of being terrified. So last night, I'm chilling, you know, like, 10:30, 10:40 p.m. Wasn't that late. And I was hungry. Made myself some food. Was eating it, watching YouTube. Having a grand old time. I get done eating, get to go, take it upstairs, and then as I stand up, I have the Wave 3 weather app on my phone, so, stand up, and then, I get a notification, and, this specific notification was for a severe weather alert. And when it's a severe weather alert, it gives off a tornado siren. Though that's its notification sound. So I stand up and I just start hearing that. I look at my phone and I'm like, huh. Because where I wasn't raining. Wasn't raining. Wasn't windy at all. We weren't in any sort of watch or warning for like thunderstorms or anything. I couldn't hear thunder, and then. My phone goes off, I look at it, and I'm in a tornado warning. Because I click on it, and it's like, yeah, so there's some, rotation here. There's a tornado forming. And it's like, that I look at that, I'm like, oh, that's great. That's so good. That's so fun. I take my stuff upstairs while I'm listening to the broadcast, and I'm not hearing any sirens outside, so I'm like, maybe it's lying to me. Then I throw like the little thing in the trash, because there's a little meal, like a little microwavable meal, so I throw the tray, I guess, in the trash can, and right as I turn around to start walking back to my room, I outside I just start hearing it's just like, I got a notification. Now the sirens are going off. Like, what do I do? I text my mom. I'm like, hey, Bob, got tornado warning. Sirens going off outside. I go down back into my room, and for the first time in my life, I have a panic attack. I just started hyperventilating. I was breathing really heavy, which I guess is what hyperventilating is. I'm just sitting there, hand on my chest, not able to breathe properly, just for like 5 minutes before I finally calm myself down enough to be able to think clearly. And yeah, I hear my parents upstairs, they're talking. My mom starts coming down the stairs, like, get in the basement. This is fun. We were in there till like 11:15 when it finally subsided. But yeah, I've never had a panic attack before, and I don't want to have one ever again. It wasn't fun. Don't recommend. 0 out of 10. Whoever... Whatever God was thinking when he decided humans should be able to have panic attacks, I'm gonna sue him for it. Like, come on, brother. it scared me. Like, I never had a panic attack. I didn't know what to do. I was just sitting there, not able to breathe. Not used to that. Didn't like it. So yeah, that's the story of, me having a freaking panic attack. Oh, shouldn't have clicked that at all. '737, the backlighting on the 737 kind of looks weird during the daytime. So I'm gonna just get all this off. Actually, I'm gonna leave you on because it makes some of that a bit more readable. But for the most of this doesn't really matter. Another thing, slightly less like, you okay, brother? Less, anxiety inducing. Actually, I guess depending on the person. I did my first VATSIM flight a couple days ago. Um, I was like, you know what? I've had it. I saw this post on Reddit about this dude getting over his fears, and his tip was essentially, if you're nervous about if you're nervous about using VATSIM, just do it. Just log on, hit the push to talk button, and you'll be a lot better. And so I was like, yeah. You know what? I went on to the VATSIM, like I went on VATSIM and I was just looking at everything. Like VFR phraseology, IFR phraseology, and what to do when you're in a towered situation and an untowered situation, like there's no controllers active, just how to use it properly. I looked at the video, and I was like, you know what? Let's do it. And I hopped into Microsoft Flight Sim, had to update my sim, because Sim Update 8 came out. I had to update that, I had to update the content manager. I was honestly wasn't even sure if the plane that I was using was going to work because it was a third-party plane. It was the JP Logistics Cessna 152. I loaded up in that in Sedona, Arizona. They have a little airport there. It's actually the airport you practice at in Microsoft Flight Sim, where the training locations. It's the location for the training, and I just loaded up the Cessna 152. I connected to the VATSIM network, and I was looking at the VATSIM map. There was no controllers active. The closest controller was LA Center, but they didn't. Yeah, of course I was in Arizona. They don't. Yeah, wasn't operative. It wasn't in. I wasn't under their control range. So I was untowered. I was on Unicom 1228, and I saw myself in Sedona. I just saw myself, November 82 Kilo Foxtrot. I remember my, my registration code. I was just sitting there. And, I got the plane fired up, and I was like, I made my first radio communication, man. I was just like, I was so nervous about it. I changed my audio for it because I recorded it, actually. I recorded my first ever VATSIM flight. I haven't uploaded it yet. I've been on the fence about uploading it, and I may upload it. But I was just sitting there on the ramp, and I just, I put my hand to my yoke. I just pressed my finger down on the button. It was just like, Cessna November 82 Kilo Foxtrot, taxiing to runway something. I can't remember the runway number for some touch and goes. And I said it exactly like this. Cessna November 82 Kilo Foxtrot, taxiing to runway 17 for some touch and goes. Said it exactly like that. Exactly like that. And I did that. I taxied to the runway. I got the aircraft set up, and I went over, and I was like, I said, Sedona traffic, Cessna November 82 Kilo Foxtrot, taking off runway 17 for a left-hand traffic pattern, or right-hand traffic pattern, or something like that. And, I did it, and I was like, Cessna November 82 Kilo Foxtrot, turning right crosswind, and a few seconds later, Says November rate 2 Kilo Foxtrot turning downwind for runway 17. Yeah, I'm just going with 17. And then it's like 7 November 2 Kilo Foxtrot turning right base runway 17. And then, you know, 7th November 82 Kilo Foxtrot turning right final for runway 17 touch and goes. Then I, you know, touched down, went back up in the air, then, you know, rinse, repeat. I only did 2 touch and goes. I was going to do a few, but then on my final, on my second touch and go, when I was coming in for my second landing, I was just like, you know what, someone's home. I don't know who it is. I'm assuming I know who it is, but you know, should, you know, go check them out, see what they're doing, see, you know, if, you know, I'm about to get robbed. And I was also really looking for an out because I have minor social anxiety, and you know, talking here on YouTube, that's one thing. Talking, because like I'm talking to myself into a microphone, you know, it's not that bad. Like, nothing really is happening live. It's a complete afterthought. When I'm streaming, I've streamed a couple times, and that's a lot more nervous. Like, when you have a viewer, because it's like, and for some reason, that translates over to, you know, flight sim, because I'm like, oh, God, what if I make a mistake, you know, they're gonna be like, oh, God, it's just, I'm so nervous about it. And the entire time, you know, my nerves are shot, my anxiety is through the roof, and I'm just like, they're like, what do I do, what do I do, what do I do? Because I'm so nervous that I'm overthinking everything. It's like, should I really be talking this much into the mic? And eventually I just landed on my second one. And it was fine, it was fine, it was fine. I didn't get a message from a supervisor saying, you know, hey, do this or this or anything like that. So I'd say it was fine, and that was my, that's so far my only VATSIM flight. I have not flown on VATSIM since. I've been wanting to do it some more. I was going to do a flight. Initially, my first flight was going to be, for VATSIM, was going to be Unicom all the way, no ATC coverage at all, from Fort Lauderdale to Minneapolis. Sorry, Jesus, I keep on remembering the ICAO code for the airport, which is MSY, and for some reason I think Minneapolis. I mean, I guess it's because it's MSP for Minneapolis, but it was New Orleans in the A300. And I decided against it because, you know, VFR and IFR are 2 very different things. It's very close to Miami, which was very busy at the time. 1,000 to go. My sim froze. Oh, God. It's back. At least I think my sim froze. I don't know. But it was very busy in Miami. Wasn't that busy in the thing. Oh, and sorry. Houston Center was online. Miami Center was not, and New Orleans Airport didn't have anything. It didn't have ground approach or ATIS or anything like that, but Houston Center was online. I decided against it because IFR and VFR is 2 completely different things. For my first VATSIM flight, it would probably be more beneficial to do a VFR circuit patterns rather than an IFR A to B. So I decided, yeah, let's just do it. And I did VFR patterns at Sedona. I've been wanting to do it since. But I'm really trying to find, because, like, I don't know. Because according to the VATSIM page for that, it tells you, you know, it tells you to announce whenever you make a turn. So, like, when you're flying, when you take off and, like, you're turning to the crosswind, it says, you know, to notify, tell Unicom, you know, tell the local area, like, you know, hey, I'm turning onto crosswind. And then for X runway, and then when you're turning downwind, say say you're turning to the downwind for that runway, and then the base for that runway, and then the final for that runway. It says to do that. But I've seen videos of, you know, CTAF airports with they have a tower, but it's not really a tower. Like, there's no ATC. It's just like traffic, like Delaney traffic. You announce your position to other pilots and announce your intentions. I've seen videos like that, and I've seen untowered VATSIM, and I don't remember anybody ever being like, we're turning crosswind, hey, we're turning downwind, hey, we're turning base. And like you do say when you're on final, But like I don't know, I'm trying to find videos on it, but I so far haven't been able to find. I've seeing a lot of videos for towered airports, but no untowered airports. That's also something. Um, I still don't have a full idea of the top-down method. Of course, I mean it makes sense, I guess. You know, I'd go to center to, like for the Fort Lauderdale to New Orleans. Jesus, about to say Minneapolis again for that flight. You know, when I entered the Houston Center airspace, I would contact them, and then they would hand me off to any controllers if they were online, but since there weren't on any online, I would have been with Houston Center all the way down to the threshold. But, that's one thing. Actually talking to ATC was another thing. I haven't done that yet because, there wasn't any ATC coverage for the flight I did, so I had no ATC, so it was just me talking to myself. Which I guess the silence of, like, there's nobody there to validate if I'm doing it right, and there's also nobody to validate if I'm doing it wrong or anything. It was just that thing of, like, am I doing it right? Am I not? I have no way of telling. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Doing this to stay awake. But just the whole thing. If y'all got any tips for RadSim, let me know. Greatly appreciate it. We got a 77 knot tailwind. Fun, fun, fun. What time is it? I'm about 2:30. Holy crap, 2:30 on the dot. Oh my god. I feel like a god. 2:30. Okay, it's 2:31 now. Jesus, I clicked on it thinking, because like last I checked it was like 2. I just made 2:30 because it made sense, and I clicked on my phone 2:30 on the dot, man. I've never done that in my life before. I feel like a god. I am so tired. We've got like an hour or so in the air still. That'll be a while. Take a look at some contrails. That's hot. Literally. Alright. So, I'm gonna mute my mic and just chill out to try and stay awake because I don't really got anything more to talk about. So, real quick, I am gonna align my physical throttles here with you. Alright, so now I'm just gonna mute my mic. See y'all in a bit. 50 miles to go. Alright. See y'all in a bit. Where's my y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that said 100 miles, but it said 180. I had a heart attack. But we're close enough now. We can start beginning our planning our descent. So, gonna bring up Albuquerque here. Take a look at the weather. 150 at 4 knots. Wind level 10. Broken 26,000. Temperature's 8. Dew point minus 18. Under 3006. It's really that cold in Albuquerque. So we're gonna bring up our arrival chart here, which is the Lobo 3 Rose. So we want to be at or above flight level 290. That's so real quick. I have a new thing for my top ascent. So we're gonna take 39,000 minus our target altitude, which is 29,000. We're gonna divide that by our descent rate, which I'm just gonna do 2,000 feet per minute. Then we want to multiply that by our ground speed, which is 447 divided by 60, sorry, giving us 37 miles. So 37 miles from Rose. Hey, would you look at that? So Rose. So I'm gonna kick off VNAV to this. We're also going to get the approach thing up. So RNAV Yankee runway 8. Haven't done an RNAV in the 737. Honestly, I don't know how to do an RNAV in this thing. I know how to do one in the A300. I know how to do one in the A320. The A320 is a little bit different though because you can't do an actual RNAV in the A320. You have to fake an RNAV by doing a flight path vector, telling the plane to hold 3 degrees rather than actually doing a RNAV. But in the A300 I got it, and I don't know how to do it in the 737, but you're going to be able to do it either by using approach or VNAV. I'm pretty sure approach is only to be used during ILS, meaning I probably won't use this. VOR lock is, of course, if you're doing a VOR approach, so I'm probably going to use VNAV. Probably. Again, I don't know how to do it in a 737. But yeah, and in the event of a missed approach, we're going to be climbing a right turn to 9000, direct to Julug and hold our, let's see, our minimums are 420. Okay. And set 280 in the dial. We want to be at or below 280. Also, switch you over. Let's start slowing down to 270 knots to fit in with the speed restriction at 4N. So landing runway 8 from iTunes on track 125 to Musk, then track 126 to download, then track 125 to Camster, expect RNAV or ILS approach or radar vectors. 2 final approach course. Okay. Oh yeah, and descent checklist. Landing out is 5,354 feet. Recall checked. Radio altimeter is set. Auto brake. Let's see. Runway 8 is. Oh wow. Auto brake low. Let's go ahead and let's get the approach references in. So VREF. Here 4126. So 40. It's our landing speed. There we go. I'm going to start ascending down to 260. To meet with you. I was going to do something. We're going to be beginning the approach at 8,000. We're going to come in to Jilug at 9,000, descend down to 8,000, and then we'll be on the 3-degree glide path down to the runway. So MDA, I should use MDA, which is 57.4. Also, just drop her back down to 20,000, sorry, level 200. That's per minute. 5720. Ooh, wrong thing, wrong thing, wrong thing, wrong thing, wrong thing, wrong thing. 5720. Oh. Here we go. Then on to 250 knots. To continue our descent to 14,000. So it's just gonna put out the stream brakes a little. Let's increase our descent to 2. I mean, we're gonna meet the 18,000 restriction, but I just want to drop. So refresh you. 3005. We'll put that in the standby altimeter. Maybe. It's because you're in standard. Never mind. Actually, I think I can change that in Mu if I go to general config and then Mu. Oh yeah. So I mean, this should be synced, but this should not be. I just can't change you at all. I broke my standby altimeter. Can't use it at all. Also, VNAP wasn't even tuned correctly. If you take a look at Musk, no constraints. But obviously, according to the star, there were constraints. There's a slight fuel imbalance. I'm gonna open up the cross speed. Okay, speed brakes. So this should, speed brake, I mean, the cross speed being open should allow us to stabilize. Okay. Should allow us to stabilize. It may not. Don't know. Alright. Okay, now it's there. Drop down to 9,000 now. When these stabilize, I'll switch off the cross feed off. I mean, I could switch it off now, but since it's already open, might as well. That was a nice neck pop. Alright. You're still broke. Now we're gonna be at 900,000 for a good bit. Let's switch her down to 10 miles now. And there we go. That's stabilized. Cross feed valve closed. Yeah, closed. So let's start slowing to 210 knots to feed the restriction at camstring or camster. Put out flaps 1 just to help with that. Oh yeah, and we're below 10,000, so landing lights on, seatbelt signs on. I did that in reverse order of what I said, but that's okay. Can I use you yet? No, I cannot. I don't know what's wrong with you, but yeah, backup altimeter is broken. Like, completely. Makes no sense. Confused. I also could probably get away with keeping the flaps up. Any adverse effects to keeping them up? I mean, I'm pretty sure 1 degree only puts the slats out, being honest. It doesn't seem to, it doesn't really make a difference. Okay, I'll keep them up. Actually, I should probably keep them down because it helps with the lift. Put the flaps back to 1 degree. I don't know what that button does. That's the wrong button. I pressed the button to go to the external cam, but it was the Microsoft Flight Sim button. It's shift 4 in X-Plane. It's end. You press the end button in Microsoft Flight Sim. I don't know what I did just then. I don't know what happens when I press that button, but I didn't like it. So I know it says I'm supposed to expect... Actually, no. It says expect RNAV approach clearance or radar vectors to final approach course. Since, yeah, so I'm going to be doing the RNAV. The RNAV approach. So meaning I don't actually have vectors. This is going to be the RNAV. So we're just going to ride 9,000 feet. And we're going to descend down to KABQ 8,000 after Jilud. I don't know how to pronounce it. We're good for now. I'm going to go ahead and get the logo lights on so I don't have to worry about those upon landing. Sorry, MDA is set 5740. Albuquerque. You are 113.2. Just so I can get my BOR frequency. So again, that's our VREF 126 for landing. Oh. I'm actually going to speed us up here to 230 knots. Actually, I'll speed us up to 240. Because, I mean, we should probably be sticking to this 210 restriction, but I also don't... Actually, wait, that says 210. Wait, no. I thought that said 210 or greater, but no, looking at it again. At 210. It just seems like you wouldn't stick to 210 knots for that entire segment. Could be wrong, though. I probably am wrong. But still. Make sure you are set. You are set. Seem good so far. So again, to actually do an RNAV approach in the 737, I don't exactly know how you would do it. But we got our decision height set, our MDA, our MDA is set. The box is set up, I believe, for a for an RNAV arrival. And I think the way you'll do it, to do the RNAV, is simply hitting VNAV. It makes sense in my mind that you'd hit VNAV. Because, you know, an RNAV approach is kind of essentially LNAV and VNAV.
2500.
Because, like, of course, vertical navigation. It's not an ILS. It's just kind of being like, well, you know, this is about the place. This is about the altitude. You should be at this distance from the airport. So, yeah, it's essentially VNAV. Which is part of the reason why the fly-by-wire A320 doesn't have working RNAV. Because it doesn't have a VNAV. Meaning I think that I will just hit VNAV to do an RNAV approach. Again, could be completely wrong. But I'm going to try, and if it don't work well, then I'll just fly her in manually. Oh my god, what's the temperature? 9 degrees C? Jeez. Didn't know Albuquerque could get this cold. I mean, it's not that cold. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. 9 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. I mean, it's somewhat cold. Like, it's chilly. I mean, 48.2 degrees. Let me take a look. I mean, it's, you know, 40 degrees where I am, and I'm a ways bit north than Albuquerque. Yet again, they do have elevation against them. So that makes a little bit of sense now that I think about it. 40 degrees in New Mexico, but it's also like, you know, even the Smoky Mountains, you know, which are down along Georgia, Tennessee, around that area. Those can get pretty cold. Even though they're pretty far south in the US, they are very high altitude. Alright, I'll start slowing us down to 210 now. It's got it in there right now. RNAV 8.
2500.
Oh, sorry, hit my mic. Flaps 1 degree. 28.0 now. 28 miles out. So we're coming into Hegma. Come on to Hegma, then we'll straighten out. Lock there. So 9,000 at Hegma, then 9,000 at Jylug, and after Jylug drop down to 8,000 feet, Kopka, and then 3 degrees to the runway. So when we level off at 8,000, we'll be good. Slows down a bit more actually. Flaps 2 degrees. And when we pass 200 knots, I'll put them out 5. 5 degrees. Runway in sight. Come on, get past Hegma. Get past Hegma. Right, let's set the engine start to continuous there. T500. Slows down to 170 knots. Flaps 10. Slows down even further. 150. Flaps 15. Put the gear down.
Gears down, 3 greens.
Gear down locked, 3 green. Speed brakes. Speed brake armed. Let's go ahead and get 8,000 on the dial. Second it changes over. Drop down. Second it changes over. Screw it. I'll go ahead and start dropping down. Okay. Runway turner flights on.
2,500.
12.8 DME. At 8,000, we're gonna start slowing down to our VREF 126. Flaps 25. Flaps 30. Flaps 40. Keeps us there at VREF. And now we're gonna hit VNAV. VNAV is speeding us up. But with VNAV engaged, should be good. Again, I don't know if you do an RNAV approach by using LNAV and VNAV, but it makes sense. Because if you, like, it makes sense. I don't know if that's true in any way, shape, or form, but it makes sense. So is your landing speed meant to be VRF plus 5? I don't know. But after passing KABQ, we are supposed to start descending. So, if, you know, if it's set correctly, you know, if it's set correctly, and if this is how you do an RNAV in the 737, when we pass through KABQ, the plane should start descending to the runway. I see this little thing dropping, meaning it may work, it may not. Let's see what happens. Alright, see, it doesn't work. That tells me. Alright, that doesn't work either. Auto throttle and autopilot off. So what I just tried to do. So on the 727 and the A300, you have to double tap the autopilot disconnect switch to get the alarm to stop. And I figured, okay, well, that's probably how you do it in the 737. And every time I've tried since then, it doesn't work. I don't know why it doesn't work, but it don't. So now I'm a bit high because RNAV didn't engage. Again, I have no idea. Maybe you do have to click approach, but I feel like approach would be for the ILS. But I don't know if it is. But just LNAV and VNAV together made sense. Like in the A300, the way you do an RNAV is, you know, you get the plane configured for landing, and then you'll hit the, in the approach phase, you know, you put in your MDA and it'll give you 3-degree final, meaning 3 degrees glide slope on final. You'll click that, and then you'll click profile, which is the VNAV for it, for the A300, and then it'll follow that 3-degree glide slope to the runway, to the runway. And I figured, you know, it makes sense, you know. The profile on the A300 is essentially VNAV of the A300, which is, you know, VNAV of the 737. VNAV, it's VNAV for the 737. It made sense. LNAV and VNAV. You don't click anything for, like, you don't click a button for, like, approach. It made sense for LNAV and VNAV together to be an RNAV, to do an RNAV approach. That made sense in my mind, but apparently my mind doesn't work the way logic makes sense. Like, it made sense, but it don't. 1,000 feet. I believe our missed approach altitude was 9,000. Correct.
Approaching minimums.
Approaching minimums. Bit to the right of the runway. We're gonna bring the plane over to the left.
Minimum.
Minimums. I'm not gonna make a big fuss over that. Just realized I was ranting over it when it makes no sense to even do that. 500 feet.
400.
Trim up there. Up.
300.
300 feet. Put in right rudder. A
200.
little bit. 200.
100.
100.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Acceptable. That was an acceptable landing. Nah. That was kind of like a Ryanair landing, not gonna lie.
80 knots.
80 knots. 6 knots versus disengaged. Spoilers up or down. Auto brake off. And we'll vacate the runway next left. Welcome to Albuquerque, New Mexico after 1 hour and 31 minutes in the air. I'm gonna look up how to do an RNAV in this plane. I don't know how to do it. Like, I'm sorry, it made sense. Alright? I've never learned how to do an RNAV approach in the 737 because I try my best to do ILS approaches because they are the easiest approach to do. You might think a visual is the easiest to do because it requires the least setting up, but it requires a lot more hands-on work compared to a ILS. It made sense. LNAV and VNAV, you know, LNAV, lateral navigation, left and right of the runway, which it did, and then, you know, VNAV, vertical navigation. It would vertically navigate me to the runway. It made sense. Parking brake set, and after landing checklist, transponder, standby, flaps are coming up, spoilers are retracted, landing lights off, strobe lights off, taxi lights on, cabin lights correct. I never changed them. I need to start changing them, but I can never remember to change them. Anti-ice not required. APU start, probe heat off, and engine start off. Okay. Then we're gonna open Avitat back up, and we're going to take our airport here, the little charts here, for the taxiing. And we're going to taxi to the terminal here via taxiway Alpha. That's really it. Parking brake released. So as you can see, that was a flight. Fine. We have 2,600 pounds, sorry, in both tanks, combining up to about 5,240 pounds, if my math is correct, which I think it is. About 5,240 in both tanks, now about 5,430, 10 even, 30, wait, no, 5,240, 52, yeah, no, 52, look, guys, I'm tired. We've got fuel, more than enough fuel. So, yeah, so when I get done here and I start posting this, and once it's uploading and all that, I'm going to look how to do an RNAV in the 737. And if I was right and you do use LNAV and VNAV, I'm going to just chalk it up to either there's extra steps that I just missed, or the system's bugged. One of the two, or it could also just be that's not what you do. It just makes sense. I don't really know what else it would be, because again, approach I feel like would be for the ILS. I just feel like that would be for the ILS rather than an RNAV. Because like on the A300, you know, you have again, use profile and nav mode for RNAV approaches, and when you want to do an ILS, you hit the button that says land or something like that, and that will do the ILS. If you hit VL, it'll do a VOR approach, because a VL, I learned, stands for VOR lock. So the land button in the A300 would kind of translate to the approach button in this for ILS. The VL button in the A300 would translate to the VOR lock. The nav would translate to LNAV, and profile would translate to VNAV. Considering you use profile and LNAV or nav in the A300 to do an RNAV, it just made sense to translate it over LNAV and VNAV. But apparently not. Or there's extra steps, because there were extra steps in the A300 that I didn't know about, so maybe there's extra steps in this. Don't know. Either way, let's just get to the gate And let's taxi up next to this CRJ here. This little Delta CRJ right here. Took the power out. I'm really coming at this from the wrong angle, but I'm sure it's fine. We'll put in a little power on the right engine. Bring it back in. So I pressed end again. Shift. 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 There you go. I armed the speed brakes accidentally. Parking brake set. Speed brakes. Disarm. There you go. Not really aligned with it, but that's fine. Parking checklist. Taxi lights and runway turn-off lights are off. APU gen. Connected. Engine fuel control. Off. Seatbelt signs. Off. Actually, we can just get both of you off. APU bleed on. And beacon light off. And then we'll get these fuel pumps off, keeping the left aft fuel pump on. Electric hydraulic pumps can go off. Isolation valve. Isolation valve open. Flight directors are off. Alright. No auto gate, so what we'll do is we'll just ground services, doors, open, and air stairs extend. Just extend the air stairs. Is there a thing on the overhead telling you the air stairs? Yep. I also got equip, so. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can't access the equipment. Look quiet. Then we'll head to the weight and balance payload, and we'll put the payload total to 0. And securing checklist, we're gonna switch off the IRS. APU off. Left aft fuel pump off. Ow. Emergency exit lights are off. Window heat is off. Packs are off. We'll close the APU bleed. Standby power. That can go off. That's bus transfer. Standby power can go off, and battery off. And so that is a flight in the 737-600 complete on the ground at Albuquerque. Again, I'll figure out how to do an RNAV in this thing, and I'll also plan on doing more VATSIM flights. I've only done one. Very well, it was actually, it wasn't necessarily short. It was just short airtime. But I may post that. But I do want to start doing them like actual. There goes the APU shutting down. I want to do them on actual flights like this. Preferably more so when I know what the heck I'm doing. Definitely wouldn't do it in the 737, probably being more than likely the A300, simply because I've actually got a nice feel of that aircraft. It would also be even cooler if my first IFR flight in the A3 in the on VATSIM to be in the MD-11, because it's my favorite aircraft. It would just be kind of nice to do that. I don't know when the MD-11 is coming out though, so that might not be, viable or anything like that. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. We finally did the 737-600 flight, and I can check that off the bucket list. I want to do a flight in the 747-200. So if I real quickly just take a look at some planes that I want to do some flights in. I don't remember favoriting the A300. I'm not gonna lie. But so there's some flights in here that I want to do still. So of course the 747-200, that's a flight that I want to do eventually. I want to do another DC-10 flight. Oh, this 767 right here, don't ask. All right, just don't ask. I may hop into it for a second just to show you guys it. This DC-8, no, doesn't work properly. I think it would be cool to do a flight in the MD-80. I haven't done a flight in the MD-80. I've only flown it once, and that went horrible. The default MD-80 isn't that good of a plane, I'm not gonna lie. Also, I'm really wondering, now that I have Navigraph and an updated AirAC and all that, I might start the default FMS might be a bit more usable, which would definitely be good for, say, the 727 or the MD-80 or the 742, because it does have an INS in it, and I would like to do a flight with the INS system, at least one on YouTube, but the FMS is definitely a lot more reasonable considering, SIDS and stars and all that, because it can only hold up to 9 waypoints at a time, and there's a lot more than 9 waypoints in a traditional flight. But I'm gonna hop into the 767 real quick just to show you. So of course, as you can see here, it's in 0.60.0 alpha. It's a freeware. It's actually by Fearless, and it's probably going to end up being a pretty good aircraft. But as of now, it's really not the greatest, and I don't even know if it's flyable, and I'll show you what I mean. So it just loaded in, and I wish I didn't pause because I was just greeted with every single GPWS sound that could ever possibly exist. So as you can see, the external model is interesting to say the least. Again, alpha. Makes sense that's not high quality. Coming into the cockpit, I mean, it's got a cabin, which is pretty cool. And overall, it doesn't look horrible. I mean, its textures and modeling isn't fantastic, but this is what I mean when I say that it's eh. So first off, trying to click on the battery is a nightmare. And then the standby power, I don't even can't get it. Can't get the packs on, or the hydraulic demand on. Can't align the IRS. The yaw damper, can get that on. These are the engine starters. I'm gonna get those to off. Fuel pumps there, which are interesting to say the least. APU, put that into start. Yeah, just see what I mean. It's just, yeah. Again, early alpha, so it's probably going to see a lot of upgrades, and I'm hoping it becomes actually a pretty good aircraft. But like as of now, I can't really say anything. Like I would love to do a flight in this because it's a 767. The 767's a nice aircraft. But like I honestly don't think I can. Like even if I wanted to, I don't think it's possible. Which sucks, but you know, like none of this works at all. You are in increments of 10 apparently. You're not though. But yeah, it's just, I mean, it seems like it could be a good aircraft, but like as of now, it's impossible. This isn't meant to be flack towards Felix. I just want to, you know, you were wondering, hey, why do you got a 767 in your thing if you're not going to use it? That's why. Don't work. So don't ask about it. Good, 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 good. Glad that we got that out of the way. The DC-3 here is something that I wanted to check out eventually. Of course, we've done the A300. We may do a flight in the passenger version of the A300-600. MD-80 would be pretty nice to do. Another flight in the 727 would always be fun. The DC-8's a no-go. I'm not going to go into that one. It's just, trust me. God, please don't, no. Like, I loaded up into I can't even get the APU started. Like, it's just, God. Like, almost nothing is labeled, and the things that are labeled are inoperative. So, yeah, the 767, the Dreamlifter, it'd be pretty cool to do, but I can't really think of any flights where it'd be viable. The Sparky 744, you know, that's always fun to do. 742, 747-200, that would definitely be fun to do, and I plan on doing it. I just don't really have a route for it, nor do I have the time for any long-haul routes for it. And then none of the Riviera stuff. Don't even know why I still have them installed. And then, of course, we've done the 727-600. I believe we did the 900. I can actually check very easily by, yeah, it was the 900 because we have the United Library. And then we have the, we've done the 800, of course. I'm not going to go through every single variant of it, but still. That's really it in terms of all of this. Want to do, of course, a flight in the 742 and the 744 maybe. The MD-80 would be nice. And, another DC-10 flight eventually. I don't really like FSX that much, not going to lie. I really want to rotate for the MD-11. When that gets out, that'll definitely probably become my go-to aircraft. I'm not going to lie. But as of now, my go-to aircraft seems to be the A300. I have put a lot of hours into it since I bought it. It's just, I love this plane. Just a nice plane. I like it. Thank you, I. But for now, that's it. It's currently 3:52 a.m. I need sleep. So, good night, y'all. Hope y'all enjoy this. And give me flight recommendations specifically for the 747. Why did I say it like that? 747. Give me some flight suggestions for the 747. And because I really want to fly the 742. I just can't really think of anything. Preferably 7 to 8 hours max. Simply because I don't want to put 13 hours into a flight. So like, yeah, just like a shorter flight. We could do like New York to Paris, New York to Frankfurt. We could even do like KLM Amsterdam to Amsterdam to St. Martin, which would definitely be a cool historic flight to do. But yeah, just give me something, give me something. And but for now that's it. And thank you all for watching, and I guess good night, good morning, depending on where you are. For me, it's definitely good morning, but it sure don't feel like a morning. But anyways, I've been rambling enough. I should just end this. See ya.